thing there.
Thank you very much.
Great to have you here. Thank you very much for coming on.
Pleasure to be here.
You know, I'm pleased to meet you and to see that you're a well-balanced and, it seems, friendly individual, because more often than not, when I see you on screen, you play very menacing types, don't you?
That was quite terrible, that scene, wasn't it?
Do you think it's your looks that you get these parts? Because I suppose an actor's looks do determine the kind of parts, and you do look kind of rough and ready, or...
Yeah.
I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean,
I don't know. All my friends kind of think I'm a relatively nice guy, so they don't really know. But I think what happens is you start out, you play a part, it kind of works, and then people just stick with that. You know, they see that in you, and then they can't imagine you being anything else.
Well, when you're playing a nasty piece of work, is it hard to shake it off before you get home, or are you strutting around at home going, "Get me my tea, bitch," and, you know, "Mummy, come over," you know what I mean? Like, "Get that bed, kid, you little butt," you know?
No. My good lady will tell you I'm a complete sweetheart.
Is she here this evening?
She is here
this
this
evening.
evening.
Lovely to know. Do you have children, Mark?
I do have a little 2-year-old and one on the way.
How lovely. A boy or girl?
A little boy.
A little boy. So you're not going to be worried, it's not going to be like when you have a girl and the fellas come round, because I had a thing, my girl was on holiday, and I could have used you there, to be frank.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I scared these boys enough.
Yeah.
I think it was because I was wearing SpongeBob SquarePants shorts at the time, when I was trying to tell them off. And
Nice.
It's hard to get in the part when you're doing that. Have you ever been offered a rom-com? Do you ever get any of those kind of parts coming your way?
Never.
Would you like to play a romantic lead?
I don't know if I can, to tell you the truth. I mean, maybe, but it's a different disciplines kind of required. You know, comedy, you know, romance, leading man, that kind of thing is something that I'm not... It's OK, but when I started out, I just thought the villains are just much more interesting.
They're normally more interesting characters. Could you, if you had to sum one up, let's face it, in those sort of films, say you're Hugh Grant, that sort of movie, really you have to be a bit like a girl, don't you? Because he'll be talking about his feelings and crying and rubbish like that, which men don't do.
Yeah.
But if you had to act that kind of thing, could you summon that up?
Could I be like a girl?
Yes. Have you ever played a girl in a movie, by the way?
No, I haven't, actually. I'm not sure that I'm kind of...
Yeah, no, there's plenty of female actors out there. I don't know why I asked that question. I apologise. Even by my standards, that was a stupid question.
I always felt early on that when I started out, because you play all the leads, drama school.
Yeah.
You play all those leads in Shakespeare, you know, Ferdinand the Tempest and stuff, but all they're really designed to do is fall in love.
Yeah.
You know, and look nice.
Yeah.
And that's it, really.
So you wouldn't
It's all the villains you remember. You remember Macbeth and...
the bad guys,
Richard
that's
III,
right.
exactly.
Would I be right in thinking the first big production you're involved in, the thing that really put you on the map, would be Our Friends in the North?
Yeah.
What a great cast alongside you with it, and all kind of starting out with it at the same time. It was you, of course, it was Christopher Ecclestone, who's gone on to great things, Gina McKee, and Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
And he's kind of fallen off the map a bit. I don't know what's happened to him.
It happens, you know.
I would imagine filming something like that on that scale, you would get pretty close with the people you work with.
Yeah, Daniel and I, we're still mates. I see him quite a lot.
Let's talk about Sunshine. Mark's in a new movie. It opened last week here in the UK. It's doing fabulously well, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is.
It's a big sci-fi epic. How would you describe the film, and how would you describe your part in it?
The film is an incredible journey into space. It's 8 astronauts on board a ship going out to drop a payload into the sun to reignite it.
When we say payload, it's a big bomb, isn't it? It's a giant bomb. They're going to blow the sun up again to kick-start it again.
Yeah. It's like the mass of Manhattan, the bomb, and because the Earth is cooling. So we follow those guys on their trip to the sun, and I'm the captain of the first ship who went earlier, and we don't know what's happened to him. OK,
I get a bit worried about this kind of thing on a regular basis. Do you not look up and think, maybe, what if the sun runs out?
Well, it's ironic that there's a film about kind of the Earth cooling in the middle of global warming.
There is some of that. Also, I tell you what's also strange in the film is they're sending this project up to the sun, and you said you're the captain of the first ship.
Yeah.
And that's kind of gone off the radar. They don't know what's happened to it. And you find out in the movie, I don't want to give too much away, but... And the second thing, now, what do they call the ship?
Icarus.
OK, Icarus. Now, if you were sending a ship to the sun to save mankind, you wouldn't call it Icarus, would you? Because and then, if the first one you called Icarus by mistake, right, or let's be ironic, we'll send Icarus up, oh, he didn't make it to the sun, you wouldn't call the second one Icarus too, would you?
I think the idea was that, you know, they were kind of exorcising the ghost by calling it that.
No, I think the idea is they're idiots. That's the idea. But it's a great fun, and it looks just fabulous.
Yeah,
and I believe they didn't spend the sort of money that you normally spend on a movie of this, but they've pulled it off. It looks just incredible.
It's like a massive Hollywood film. We shot it in Bow, East London.
Now, no, did you?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
The studio's there called 3 Mills.
And I've been there.
Yeah.
I went there because that's where they shot the All Saints movie.
Right.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm the only person who saw it. You don't have to pretend.
Right.
But it looks just great, and it's a strange part you play. We can't really talk about it too much because it's a pivotal thing in the movie.
It's a sort of very important part of the plot.
Once again, you don't really look like you in this.
No.
There's some makeup, and even though you don't see much, they've made you look kind of weird.
Yeah.
Was that makeup? Was it computer effects?
It was makeup. It was silicon skin. The guy's been up there for too long with the sun, and he's got very badly burnt.
So he's all covered in burns and scars and stuff. And how long did that take to apply to make you up like that?
6 hours.
6 hours? What,
Yeah.
every time you were filming?
Yeah, every morning. Get up at 3 o'clock, get in there about 4 o'clock, because I live in West London, so I get over East London, 4 o'clock, and then you sit in a chair, and for the next 6 hours, you're having glue put under your eye, in your ear, up your nose, and they're little pieces of silicone that you just attach, and then all the edges have to be done, and then you have to be made up.
Can you sleep while they're doing it to you? Can you nap? Can you catch
I used to nod off a bit, and they built me this special chair so that I could just
Sure that.
doze off, and I'd wake up and somebody would be going like that.
I suppose you wake up and go, Jesus, who's that?
Yeah.
You wouldn't know that was you from that. Not just because of the makeup, because it's shot in a weird way there, and that's you on it's an old recording they made up.
Yeah, another pretty heavy scene. That's a message that's sent back from the first ship that's become completely distorted because they're too near the sun.
Well, if you had the opportunity, and it's coming our way, people can do this, would you travel? Would you like to travel off the planet? If Virgin do get this moon thing going, they're trying to get going on.
I can't do fairground rides. I mean, I get car sick, so no.
I'm disappointed in you.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I've never ever been able to do I've got terrible motion sickness. So the idea of G-force going up into space is my worst
You
nightmare.
big girl's blouse. So if I said to you, look, we're doing the thing here, BBC are doing the big thing, and they've asked me to choose some people to go up to space with me, all right? I'm captain, obviously, right? You want to come? It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's going to be a bit of G-force on the way up, but once you're there, woohoo, waitlist.
I'd have to pass.
You'd pass?
Yeah.
Seriously, you'd pass?
I think so, yeah.
But Jamie's coming, aren't you, Jamie?
Of course I am, man.
Yeah.
I'm on my way.
Ursula, you want to go to the moon?
No, I loved yours.
Well, you can come. We're coming back. We're not going. It's not one way.
I don't know.
Well, don't curse the trip before we go. Especially next to Jamie's whole life's ahead of him.
I'll wait for you here.
Okay. All right. Okay.
There you go. Me and Ursula stay down here.
I think Ursula thinks it was a real offer.
Right.
Hey, here's another great part Mark played. I don't know if you saw the movie Syriana with George Clooney, and it was a brilliant movie, a very complex and mature movie, which you don't see so much of these days, perhaps. Great performance in that. How was it working with George, and what was that film experience like?
He was lovely. He's a real gent. We had a cup of tea, we chatted. We were in Morocco when we shot it, so we spent a bit of time together. He's a very, very nice guy.
And once again, well, kind of everyone in that movie is they're complex characters, so I wouldn't say you're a bad guy as such, but certainly you're not a particularly pleasant fellow in the scene we see you in, and you get to lay into George somewhat, don't you?
I do, a little bit, yeah.
Is it fun to beat up George Clooney?
He was very game. I mean, I had to really kind of hit him quite a lot. I mean, he was basically strapped to a chair, tied up, and spent the whole day covered in blood being hit by me.
And what about when the filming started? What was he like to... Seriously, he wanted you to actually hit him to give you that realism?
He did his back in, actually. I think he had to have an operation afterwards, because there's a shot where he, after I've hit him, he falls onto the side, and he insisted on doing it tied to the chair, and he did his back in.
Of course, in Stardust, which is coming out later this year, Robert De Niro's in there, and of course, a tremendous actor. You get to sort of rough him up as well, don't you?
Yeah, I know. I beat up all the stars.
That's what a great... Do you think that in Hollywood they say, we need someone to beat up a star, let's get Mark Strong in?
Well, maybe, you know, maybe that's the next thing. I go, who's that guy who, I want to be beaten up by him.
Do you have to keep in shape to do that kind of thing, though, to rough up a fellow thespian? You know, do you keep yourself in good shape?
Yeah, I try to. I mean, I don't go to the gym or anything like that. I play football a couple of times a week, just to keep fit.
Have you ever played a part where they said, we love you, Mark, you look great, you can clearly act, but look at that state of you. You've let yourself go, mate.
No, I did the opposite. I went and did a film in Hawaii about prisoners of war in a concentration camp in Japan, and they said, go away 10 days, go get a tan, don't eat, and lose some weight. And, of course, it was all boys in the movie, and we all, weirdly, you know what boys are like, when you've got a task, we all just went for it.
You want to be the best?
2 months. I mean, I'm not kidding, I got down to something like 9.5 stone, 10 stone.
That's dangerous, isn't it?
Very odd, yeah, very odd.
Did your partner prefer you when you were almost on the point of dying, or just...
No.
Lovely to have you on the show, Mark. I think you're a tremendous actor, genuinely. I love seeing you in movies. Keep making them and keep making the choices you do, because I always know it's going to have something in it. Even if the movie as a whole doesn't necessarily work, I know you're going to be great in it. It's a pleasure having you. Mr. Mark Strong, ladies and gentlemen.